What's going on, fight fans? This is my first live in 1 month, and we are a couple days away from UFC 324, where we have Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. I know it's not the main event. I know the real main event is it's this fight, Gaethje versus Pimblett, but I've already done my breakdown and prediction for the main card as a whole. So y'all already know who I'm going with, who DJC Combat is picking in these fights. I mean, in case you don't know, my picks are Pimblett by submission, probably inside 2 to 3 rounds. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if Gaethje won. I think Gaethje has great odds at winning. It's just I think it's Paddy's time. I feel like he has a bit more ways to win, right? Paddy Pimblett, he's got good striking that's improved that I think is good enough to go up against Gaethje striking. Maybe not last if it stays like only stand up, but good enough to kind of outpoint him, maybe do a bit of damage, land some good shots, and then when the opportunity comes, then he can get the fight to the ground and find a submission. That's what I think, but obviously, Gaethje's a live dog. He could absolutely get it done. He's proven me wrong before. So I'm not counting Justin out. I'm not counting the highlight out at all. But he's 37, taking more damage. It's rare that we see, I don't think we've ever seen a two-time interim champ in the history of the sport. So Gaethje could do what's unprecedented, but I gotta go with Paddy the Baddie. And then, of course, y'all already know I'm going with Sean O'Malley to win. Just better striker, more technical than Song. I mean, Song has the puncher's chance, obviously, but I just think O'Malley's the better fighter, better striker, and wins a decision. And then Acosta wins because he's the more skilled fighter, but all it takes is one shot from Lewis. So I ain't counting him out. And I also got Arnold Allen beating Gene Silva, but could be wrong. But this is what I'm mainly going to talk about in the live stream is Natalia Silva versus Thug Rose Namajunas. That's going to be the center focus, and you can see in the title why I am rooting hard for Natalia Silva, okay? Why I want this woman to win this weekend. Now, I know what y'all are thinking, right? I know what y'all are thinking. Oh, weren't you a Rose fan? You should be rooting for Rose. Why are you not rooting for Rose? I know that's what some of you guys are thinking. And some other people, annoyingly so, think that, oh, you don't really care about Natalia. I've heard some comments, and you know who you are. I'm paging you. Yes, you can come out in the comment section. I want all the smoke today, okay? But I know some people will say, DJ, you don't care about Natalia. You just hate Valentina, which is true. But you don't care about Natalia. You just want Val to lose, but you don't give a shit about Natalia Silva. That's the only reason why you want her to win this fight. First of all, shut the hell up, okay? You are in no position to tell me who I care about and who I don't fucking care about, okay? I genuinely do like Natalia Silva. As much as I want Valentina to be beaten and lose her belt and have her annoying ass fans humbled, my support with Natalia is not all what this is about, okay? I do genuinely like Natalia Silva. I am a fan of her, okay? I like her fight style. She's got a wholesome personality, okay? She's great and she's fun to watch. So I like her. I don't care if she beat Grasso. I'm not asking for a revenge storyline just because she beat up Alexa, okay? The only reason why I wanted Val to lose is because she already had her time. She's already, ruled this division for years, and I want this division to move forward with the next generation. Like, if Grasso would have lost her title to Natalia, I would have had less problems with that, okay? I didn't want a system reset with Valentina. That's why I want Val to lose the belt, okay? It's beyond just I want Grasso to be avenged. But I don't hate Natalia just because she beat up Alexa. Did that hurt? Yes. Did I want Grasso to win? Yes. If they fought again, would I still support Alexa? Absolutely. But I can admit, Natalia's better than Grasso. She beat her fair and square. And I like the win streak that she's on. And I want her to fight for the belt. Okay? Rose Namajunas already had her time as the champion twice at strawweight. She's inconsistent in the flyweight division. And her beating Silva would not be a good look, okay? I mean, sure, if Natalia loses to Rose, I'm going to say it's because Natalia was overrated and never that good to begin with, not because of how good Rose is. I'm not going to say that. Like, if you're Natalia, you should win this fight, and it would be embarrassing. Natalia has to win, okay, to get another former champ on her resume, all right, to keep the streak going and to protect her title shot. And so we get the biggest fight ever right now in the women's flyweight division. I mean, I know we got the Wei Li fight, but this is the fight that always should have happened. It's Valentina Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva, okay? That's the fight we should have already gotten in November. And I still want it. The fans still want to see that fight, okay? Don't nobody want to see Thug Rose versus Val, because what is she going to do to Valentina? Nothing. Okay? She gets destroyed, and it would probably be a boring fight anyway. And even if not, it's so uninteresting. Okay. And yeah, I do want Natalia to beat Val, but you know what? If she doesn't beat Valentina, then so be it. If Valentina is better than her, so be it. I'll still support Natalia Silva, and I'll believe she'll be a champ someday, whether she takes it from Val or not. I'm going to read these comments. What's up, Toron? Both Silvas will win. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll get both Jean Silva and Natalia winning. I'm rooting for Justin as well. What's up, B. Will? I'm rooting for Justin as well because I don't like how cocky and arrogant Pimblett is acting going into this fight. He's saying he's going to beat down Justin. Yeah, I mean, I see why you're rooting against Paddy. A lot of people are rooting against Paddy. Like, a lot of people don't like Paddy because, he is very cocky. He is a very polarizing figure. I mean, me personally, I'm not like begging for Pimblett to lose. Like, honestly, like, I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to be upset if Paddy Pimblett wins. I mean, I'm not going to be upset if Gaethje wins either because, I like Gaethje. He's entertaining. But I do think someone like Paddy is actually pretty good for the sport. He's good on the mic. He's entertaining outside the octagon. He's got star potential. And then in the octagon, he's also entertaining. Like, love him or hate him, the guy is good and the guy is skilled. So I think him becoming champ, interim, is actually the best case scenario. And if you want to see him lose, don't worry. Ilia Toporia's got you covered. Ilia will beat Paddy the Baddy if Justin doesn't do it. But you know what? My stance on this fight is kind of the same as the Rose Natalia Val triangle. Is like, if Pimblett wins, I mean, yeah, he gets destroyed by Ilia just like Gaethje would, but do we really want to see Gaethje fight for an undisputed belt again? I know we all love him, but do we want to see him fight another elite skilled champ and get smoked again? Is Gaethje versus Ilia really a big fight when we could literally have a fight between two stars, potentially, Ilia and Paddy? I think that fight actually matters more. And honestly, I might actually say Paddy might have a better chance versus Ilia than Gaethje does, as crazy as that sounds. And that's my same stance with Rose Silva. Like, I feel like Silva needs to win so we get that Val fight. Rose should be in the strawweight division. If Rose is back at strawweight, competing in the strawweight division, I might be actively rooting for her in every fight again, right? If she was to fight Dern, I'd want Rose to win, and she would win, and she'd be a 3-time champ. But Rose really ain't making the wisest career choices. So I'm going to get back to reading these comments. F Paddy, let's go, Justin. I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. Like I said, I see why people don't like Paddy Pimblett. And this fight, it's like a classic hero versus villain type of matchup because Paddy's like the villain, Gaethje's the beloved fan favorite. So we'll see. Like, I'm excited for this fight. I'm very excited because I'm excited to see, like, what does Pimblett got. This is the ultimate test for Paddy, Chandler wasn't really the big test that we all thought he'd be because he kind of sucks. And, he's washed. It was really never that good, but this is where the test lies, okay? Because Gaethje has got experience. So did Chandler, but he's a better fighter than Chandler. Gaethje's a better striker than Chandler, might hit harder than Chandler. He may not be as fast as Mike or prime Mike, but still, he does damage on the feet and he's tough. He's got good cardio, solid leg kicks. If anyone could go out there and put a hurting on Paddy and potentially finish him, it's Justin Gaethje. So, but then again, if anyone can rise to the occasion in such a dangerous matchup, it's Paddy Pimblett. And that's why I'm sold on this fight, Like, I personally don't really have a dog in the race. I would prefer Pimblett to win, but I won't be mad if, like, Gaethje wins. It won't be like if, Natalia loses to Rose. Like, that will make me pissed off. And it sucks that Grasso pulled out of the Rose fight, because that would have been a fight where I would have, like, still rooted hard against Rose because I love Grasso more. But I wouldn't feel like, oh, Grasso has to, like, win. You know what I mean? I'd be like, you know what? She's already on a losing streak. If Rose beats her, it's no big deal. Grasso's already been there and done that and been the champion. So Rose wouldn't really be ruining anyone's rise or career. So, I would be annoyed, but I also have history as a Rose fan. So I could have stomached that. But now I can't stomach Rose beating Natalia. I can't stomach Grasso Barber, the outcome of that fight being reversed, and now Grasso losing the rematch. Like, that's going to upset me. So, yeah. Then Gaethje responded by saying he's going to shake. Oh, yeah, the whole Scousers don't get knocked out. And Gaethje responded by saying he's going to shake Pimblett's brain, basically saying he'll knock him out. Hey, we'll find out on Saturday night. We'll find out January 24th. And Paddy's saying he doesn't need to grapple to beat Justin. He's saying he'll batter him on the feet. We'll see. We'll see if he can back up that talk. But speaking of this fight, there is something that is kind of worrying me a little bit, because have you guys heard that they're saying that if Gaethje's, like, bump on his neck doesn't heal by, tomorrow, that they might pull him from the fight and Arman is on standby ready? I mean, honestly, I won't be mad, because Arman Tsarukyan should have already been fighting for the belt. This already should have been the fight. And we all want to see Paddy Pimblett versus Ilya. But this does kind of worry me, because I worry that if Gaethje pulls out, Dana will do something stupid because he hates Arman, doesn't want to give him a shot. I'm worried that Dana will do something so dumb and he will take Paddy off the card like he did Nunes, and he'll make the new main event O'Malley versus Yadong. Like, I'm not going out to watch if that's what happens. Like, Dana, we need to boycott Dana White. If Gaethje pulls out and he does not give Tsarukyan a chance to step in, Dana White, you're a piece of shit. Gaethje said he's going to hurt Paddy. He could. He very well could. I don't doubt Justin Gaethje at all. Dana said Arman's not going to be a backup. Okay, but is it fake news that they might pull Justin from the fight because of staff? Because if it's not fake news, he should have already been prepared for a backup. He should have at least called Max Holloway. I don't even think Volkanovski's in Vegas. I mean, they could fly him out last minute, but I don't know how long a flight from Australia all the way to America would take. So I think Arman should be on standby, because they didn't call up Oliveira. They didn't call up Max Holloway. So Arman's in Vegas. You might as well give him a shot. But if he doesn't, of course he's going to fucking make O'Malley Yadong the new main event and turn this into a fight night, because he's a bitch. But I hope it's fake news in the sense that, they're not, like, Gaethje's not in jeopardy of being pulled from the fight. That's what I hope. Also, what do you guys think of the fact that Dana White's saying that they're not going forward with Chandler versus McGregor? Like, me personally, I feel bad for Mike. And I know a lot of people make fun of him for waiting for Conor. Why did he wait? He wasted his whole career. Honestly, I think Mike did the right thing. And it's not his fault. It's Conor's fault because he's the one who pulled out and left him at the altar. But people clown Mike as if they wouldn't have done the same thing. You know, people act like they wouldn't have waited for Conor and waited for that big payday. Anyone in Chandler's shoes would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. You would have done the same thing. And Chandler deserved this fight. You know why he deserved this fight? Because even though he may have not been the best fighter in the organization, what he's done, he's always been a company man. Never pulled out of a fight, always showed up, never turned down fights, and always put on a show. And he went to wars with, you know, former champs, interim and undisputed former champs like Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. These are legends this guy is like going back and forth with and putting on shows with. So he has history with Poirier, who's got history with Conor. So he's already indirectly tied with Conor McGregor, okay? He has a war with Gaethje, who had a war with Poirier, who is tied to Dustin, who's tied to Conor, okay? He went tooth and nail with Oliveira twice, and the second time he got dominated, but round 5 came back, almost won. Okay, Chandler, after he had his 3rd war in a row, going up against and he also fought Tony, but after he had that fight with Dustin, he's already been active enough. He's already taken enough damage. So him taking a bit of time off and taking a break from the sport was actually smart, preserving his brain health, you know, giving himself time. And I guarantee you, in Chandler's mind, he's thinking, you know what? Let me take this break. I've earned it. And my end reward will be the red panty night with Conor, and then I can be set for life. That was his goal. And I can see why Chandler is still holding on to that goal. I don't think he should give up. I mean, if Dana White, with what he's saying, isn't BS, then maybe he should. But I hope this is going to be one of those situations where Dana says one thing, but it's not true. Because Dana White literally shot down the McGregor Masvidal rumors. So if he's not fighting Masvidal, who else is he going to fight? Is he going to fight Nate Diaz? I mean, maybe, but I feel like Chandler is the most viable option. It's the smartest option because Chandler now is on a losing streak. He's much older. He's washed up. This is the type of fight that you want for Conor McGregor if you want him to win a fight. So I guess we'll see what happens. I know Monday Dana White said he's going to announce the White House card. Can't stand that dude, MMA Joey. I like Joey, but I don't agree with his stance on the Chandler thing. Like, I strongly disagree. Like, I don't like that he's rooting against Chandler getting the fight with Conor McGregor. Like, why? Why? I feel bad for Chandler as well. And you got idiots like MMA Joey always making videos clowning Chandler. Yeah, it's frustrating. If Chandler doesn't get this fight with Conor, he should retire and call it a career. Probably. Honestly, yeah, he probably should. And only come out of retirement if the Conor fight becomes possible. I love how Gaethje exposed Dana White and UFC pay. Yeah, that was interesting because he talked about how he had 14 bonuses and none of them added up to $1 million. That's insane because Gaethje's been fighting for the UFC for nearly 10 years, 9 to be exact. How has he not made $1 million with the company over 9 years? That's mental. He should have made up to $1 million by now. Nobody wants to see McGregor Chandler. Okay, what's true, B. Will? Oh, that's fake news. Justin isn't pulling out. Think about it, bro. They won't let Arman fight Paddy because it's risky and Paddy will lose. I mean, yeah, of course he'll lose. Yeah, since 2017, and he's not even made $1 million. Does anybody even want to see Conor fight again? I mean, I do. I mean, obviously, if it's the right matchup, sure. Like, I would like to see him fight Chandler or get closure with Nate Diaz. I wouldn't mind seeing the Masvidal fight, but I would really love Chandler to get that reward with Conor McGregor. I really want, as a fan of Chandler and as a fan of closure, yeah, I would love that for Mike. So, and it would suck to see Conor, you know, had that leg break and then not even come back from it. Like Anderson Silva came back. Was he the same? No, but he came back and he tried. So it would kind of be a tragic way for Conor to just end his career. And I'm not even like the biggest Conor McGregor fan. I was like a McGregor hater when he fought Dustin Poirier. I hated how he talked to Poirier and, spoke about his wife. I wasn't behind any of that, right? So I'm not even trying to say, oh, Conor's a great guy, but I'm just saying, like, for the sport's sake, it would be nice to kind of have a star like that come back, at least for one more go, And then if he loses, then he can retire. So it's true that Chandler deserved the money fight for all the reasons you mentioned. Yep, exactly. Like I said, okay, he's been active, going to war after war, putting his health on the line, right? Like, if you were in Chandler's shoes and you knew a fight with Conor was possible, and you have 2 kids and a wife, and you want to provide and make a lot of money for your family, would you not want that red panty night after everything you put your body through? Like, I really think that's Chandler's perspective. And I do think he just kind of wants a chance to say, I fought Conor McGregor. Like, I feel like Chandler doesn't care if he wins or loses to Conor. I think he respects Conor enough to the point where beating him doesn't matter, but sharing the cage with him matters, Because Chandler has always made going to the UFC a goal of his. So I'm pretty sure he'd love the honor of fighting him. But of course, he'd love the reward that comes with it as well. And I'm totally with Chandler on that. So, and I do think him waiting was like a risk, obviously. Like, him waiting was risky. And yes, it did hurt his career because even though he gave his body and his brain a break from all the damage, he also got older. He gave himself enough time to be, washed up. That is obviously a factor. Like, I totally acknowledge that could be a mistake. That was a risk. But the risk was going to come with a reward, and Conor McGregor took it from him. And Conor could have fought with a sore pinky toe, but Conor had a new mindset of, I never want to fight injured again and give these bums an advantage. So, yeah, Chandler's the one who got screwed. Did he technically screw himself? Kinda, but it makes sense. But I do like how Chandler got compensated, because even though he didn't get the Conor fight, he got to rematch Charles Oliveira. And even though many people thought it was pointless, it didn't make sense, it actually kind of did make sense if you think about it. Because it's like, okay, we didn't give you the fight with the biggest superstar possible, or we tried to, but it didn't work out. Here's what we'll do. We'll give you a former champion, number 2 in the division, and a big name. And if you beat him, you may have not got the Conor fight, but you can beat Charles and fight for the belt. So I think they gave Chandler the Oliveira fight because he missed the boat on Conor. And that was their way of compensating Chandler. So it made sense. And their first fight was a banger. So why not want to see it again? I've always kind of been curious about that rematch because Chandler was winning the first time till he wasn't. So run it back, right? And then after, they gave him Paddy Pimblett, who, for all we know, might be a future champion and might be a future superstar. So it's not bad to go from almost fighting Conor to then, fighting Charles Oliveira and Paddy Pimblett. Now, if they start giving Chandler like prospects of the division, that's not going to be good because he'll probably start losing more, and that's when he should probably walk away. All right, let me read more comments. This could all be avoided. This could have all been avoided if money hungry Dana didn't take away sponsorship shorts. That's how a lot of fighters lost their money. But Dana excuse was it made them look like NASCAR drivers. I call that BS. So their original gear made them look like NASCAR drivers, or the Reebok did. Dana took away sponsor shorts from fighters so he can get money, and they don't. Yeah, and man, him doing that whole sponsorship era really ruined the sport, because think about how many fighters we lost to this. Gegard Mousasi left the UFC. That was a big L. We lost Mousasi, okay? We could have seen Gegard Mousasi fight for the title. We could have seen Gegard Mousasi fight Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Robert Whittaker, or Mousasi versus Israel Adesanya. Like, Musasi was a great contender to have, and we lost him. We lost the likes of Ryan Bader, Phil Davis, who were solid fighters because they weren't getting the pay they wanted because of Reebok. We lost Rory McDonald as well, who was another great fighter. Think about what we would have not lost if fighters could still wear their own sponsors and make money for themselves. So yeah, that is very annoying. Yeah, because Rampage came back to the UFC, but then he left because he didn't want to wear Reebok. He liked the vintage Rampage camo shorts he was wearing. So, and I wanted Rampage to stay in the UFC when he came back. I kind of hate that he came back and went back to Bellator. That was a big L, you know? And I mean, I like that over time they went from only black and white to then, adding more, variety with colors. And now, there's sponsorships. You can choose what style of trunks you want to wear. That's cool. But something just hit different about the free for all sponsorship era, because yeah, some fighters can wear their own custom shorts, but fighters don't change up, right? Like Alex Pereira wears the same custom shorts every fight. Whaley, Val, they all wear the same custom shorts every fight, and it's just like guys back in the day used to switch it up. I mean, Anderson Silva always wore the shorts where it was black at the front, yellow at the back, but from time to time he'd kind of mix it up, other legends would kind of mix it up. So, and these stupid like forced sponsorship stuff, it takes away fighters chances to kind of be original or let their own personality shine. Because think about it, Tito Ortiz was known for being Tito for those fire trunks. Chuck Liddell was known for being Chuck Liddell because of the blue Iceman trunks. You know what I'm saying? Anderson for his trademark black and yellow. And I mean, yeah, fighters now can kind of be free for all with custom, but still, it was better before all this sponsorship stuff came in with Reebok and Venom. Got to run. Might come back later. All right. See ya. Yeah, exactly. Made fighters stand out. It did. It's too bad though that we don't have Nunez versus Harrison anymore. I was so excited for that fight. It's a damn shame we lost it. I feel Max needs a different pair of custom shorts. Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, the floral shorts are cool, but I would like fighters to kind of mix it up, not just go with one set. Yeah, totally. I don't really like Charles Oliveira's custom shorts. They don't even make sense. It's just like a bunch of squares. It's like red or it's red and purple with like a bunch of random squares. I mean, it's supposed to present or represent the favelas, right? I think that's what it's supposed to be. But even still, it just feels kind of weird. What's up, Chris? How's it going? How are you feeling about the first ever Paramount card of the year? I'm cooking for my fam right now. Nice. What are you cooking? What's on the menu? What is that? Hold on a second. Oh, it looks good. Kind of nervous because I'm a Paddy hater, but I think he's gonna win. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm not a Paddy hater. I don't really have a dog in this race, but yeah, I definitely think he's gonna win. But I mean, hey, Gaethje has a chance. If anyone's beating Paddy, it's Gaethje. You know, and I like fights like this where a guy who's undefeated and on a streak but kind of untested meets the ultimate test. You know. I was thinking Gaethje. I was thinking by Gaethje living in Colorado, they should have given him shorts design with blue and white, with mountains on them. Uh, the mountains would represent Colorado. Yeah, and honestly, I don't really like Gaethje's custom shorts. They're so like bland. Like it's black, all black shade, but like with the like you can see like underneath all the black, it's like the design of the American flag and stars. They did the same with Chandler, but it just seems so lazy. Like it would have looked a lot more badass if they made Gaethje's trunks red, white, and blue. That would be so much cooler. I also think they need to do something different with O'Malley's trunks and with Paddy's trunks as well. I don't like that O'Malley just wearing boring pink trunks, and they're not even the updated version of the current Venom shorts, right? They're from the old 2023 to late 2024 style, just in pink. And it's like, where's the creativity? And same with Paddy Pimbley, just wearing orange. Why don't you actually get some cool custom designs? Like, just it feels lazy to me. But speaking of custom, I wonder what Nunes was gonna wear this weekend. I mean, I know she like did a photo shoot like last December in yellow, but I feel like there's a chance they could have actually given her custom. And I've always wondered what an Amanda Nunes custom trunk would look like, but I guess we're gonna have to wait to find that out. Now I'm wondering if Kayla would have like wore black and gold, or she would have actually had some custom. If so, they probably would have just given Kayla the boring American like black color with like the flag design. Another one of my favorites is Song Yadong, and I have a feeling Sean's lengthy reach will give him a lot of problems. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Song's only chance is really a puncher's chance, And if that's all you got, it's kind of hard to pick him. And he always loses to every step up in competition he faces. Already lost to Corey Sanhagen, already lost to Peter Yan. Like I don't expect him to do any better against O'Malley unless like O'Malley's completely washed or has like an off night. I just think it's a matter of one guy is dangerous enough to end it all with one shot, but the other guy is just the better fighter. And I think O'Malley's just better. But I mean, it's MMA, anything can happen. So, are you a O'Malley hater as well as you are a Paddy hater, or is Song just one of your favorites? O'Malley, Gaethje, Paddy, their shorts look like a regular version of Venom. Yeah, it does. It does. Do you mean like their shorts look like the old Venom design? Because they do. They haven't updated their trunks. Like, do you remember like late 2024? And I didn't like that 2024 end of the year design where the trunks became striped. They looked like tiger stripes. I thought that was weird. Like, they shouldn't have changed. I actually liked what they had with their September 2023 to October 2024 design. Anything that they changed like after UFC 308, I wasn't feeling that. But even still, they should have at least updated O'Malley's pink trunks under the new design. But they're not even doing that. And I think that's kind of stupid. It seems like a lot of Brazilian fighters wear yellow shorts. Yeah, they do. And I first noticed that with Anderson Silva when he fought Cormier at UFC. Oh, no, actually, Jose Aldo. It was Aldo, Silva, and Nunes at UFC 200. All Brazilians, all wore yellow. And I thought that was interesting. And I didn't think nothing of it. But as I continued watching, the UFC and the Reebok era, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a Brazilian thing. like some fighters will like wear a color of shorts that kind of represents their own nationality. You know, Russians or most people from Europe always wear red. Americans mainly wear blue, or sometimes they'll wear universal black or white, but mostly blue is like their standard color. Or fighters from the Netherlands would wear blue, you know. Sometimes I get confused when I see like Brazilian fighters wear blue or like green. Like Jessica Andrade, her last two fights has been wearing blue, and I don't know why. Uh, Even if my boys lose, I think the fighters will put on a good show. Yeah, I think so as well. Like I don't think Song Yadong's like gonna get finished. Like he's very durable, very tough, and he might give a good showing. I mean, he did pretty good against Sanhagen, so I mean, I wouldn't count him out here. And he already has a win over a former champ, even though Cejudo is washed. It's still a good win. So, and then yeah, Gaethje is Gaethje. Like every time you sign up to fight Justin Gaethje, you know you're in for a fight. You know you're in for a war. Like unless you're Khabib, you're not going out of a Gaethje fight unscathed. So, like when you're fighting Gaethje, prepare for chaos. Like I've never seen Derek Lewis with yellow shorts. Yeah, of course not. Although sometimes like non-Brazilian fighters will just randomly wear yellow, which always confuses me. Like I don't know why Ryan Spann wears yellow. He's not even Brazilian. He's not even Ecuadorian. Like I don't know. I don't get why he wears yellow. Maybe that's just his favorite color. I don't know. Yeah, Gaethje in yellow shorts would feel weird if he did that. When the Venom era is over, what do you think will be the next sponsor? Because they did Reebok, then they went to Venom. Do you think they'll keep Venom forever, or do you think they'll like go with something like I don't know, Adidas, Nike, or something like that? And then what else? Like maybe Body Armor, or is it Under Armour? Something like that. You think they'll go with like another sponsor? I kind of hope they just go back to Free for All again, but they're not going to do that. Not an O'Malley hater exactly. I root for him depending on the opponent. Yeah, I rooted for Sean O'Malley like when he fought Marab twice because I'm not the biggest Marab fan. I definitely rooted for him to beat Sterling and to avenge the Cheeto loss, and I was glad he won both fights. But in my opinion, I don't want to say that the pink shorts have to go, but I would love to see O'Malley add at least like a cool design to the pink shorts. And then same with Paddy. He's got to do something with his he should do something cool with his orange. Ian Gary thinks he's Mace Windu with the shorts. That's funny. Oh yeah, the guy with the purple lightsaber. SMH, they won't even they don't want to see fighters make no money taking away sponsorship shorts. That's what it seems like. Like they don't want them to be like independent with the money they make. They're probably gonna do Jordan next with after they're done with Venom. Oh, like the Michael Jordan dunking logo. That's interesting. So Jordan's shorts. That's actually very interesting if they do that. Like if in 2030 or something they end up switching to Jays. And then all fighters now can wear Jordans, like Jordan shorts or Jordan shoes. And who doesn't love to wear a pair of J's? I have some. I mean, they're not fresh and they're old and dirty, but yeah, but I just haven't been able to get new ones because they're just so expensive. And I actually did get a pair of J's 2 years ago, like a new pair, but then they were too big and I had to return them. So let's see. We got 2 viewers. They took away sponsor shorts for control. Yeah, they did. They don't want fighters. Dana didn't want fighters to have their own autonomy. That's very clear. Dana is bad for the UFC, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a lot of downsides with Dana for sure. Think anyone at UF or at 170 beats Islam. It's not relevant to this card, but I'm just wondering. That's a good question. I mean, let's look down these rankings. Let's see. I mean, I do think there are some guys with a chance. Like I feel like Shavkat at his best has a good chance. I think Michael Morales has a good chance because he's big, solid takedown defense. He's powerful. But outside of like those two, I don't really see anyone else beating him. Like I feel like Islam runs through pretty much every welterweight. I mean, obviously Shavkat can match him in grappling, and he's got the size advantage and he's got the striking advantage. But Islam would probably find a way to win that. And then Michael Morales, that's the biggest risk. But once Islam settles into his grappling, before Michael can settle into his striking, then it's wraps for Michael Morales. So, and if Morales or Shavkat can't do it, it's wraps for the rest of the division. Like until Islam chooses to walk away and retire, I don't see anyone beating him for that title, honestly. No. One thing about boxing, Dana won't be able to take away their shorts. He can't control them like he controls UFC fighters. Are you talking about Zuffa boxing? Because I know he's doing Zuffa boxing. I think that's like on Friday, right? Most boxers are their own boss. Vast majority of them are independent contractors, just like UFC fighters used to be independent contractors until Dana White took that away from them. I do feel like once the Fertitta brothers left, and then the UFC just started using for sponsorship shorts. I don't want to say the UFC just fell down the drain and became terrible, but the sport definitely took a big hit for sure. Like Lorenzo was a good president of the UFC, you know what I mean? And then him leaving and being replaced, like, yeah, it definitely kind of ruined things. I'm not gonna lie. All right, but we got about like what 2 more days till Saturday and this fight. And man, I'm like, it's kind of funny how this works because like back in the day, like Rose used to be someone that I was nervous for. Everyone who she was fighting was the enemy, and I was hating on them. Like this person better not beat Rose. Screw them. I complain about people picking against Rose, and now like all these years later, now Rose is in the position as the enemy, as someone that I'm rooting against. It's kind of funny how that works, you know? And it's not because I'm like a Rose hater. It's just I'm not as invested in her career anymore like I used to be. And like I said, I think she has no business at flyweight. She should be in the strawweight division. And I would hate for her to ruin Natalia Silva's perfect rise. Like, if Silva's going to lose to anyone, I mean, I freaking hope she doesn't lose to Shevchenko, but I want her to, if she's going to lose, it's got to be at her shot for the belt. Dare to be great. But don't lose to Rose. You literally have one job. As far as Dana, he's done a lot for the sport, but I think we're getting to the point where the company could use some fresh leaders to take this new era. Honestly, I kind of agree because even when Dana White announced UFC Seattle, like you guys remember he announced like hold on, let me try to find a tab for UFC Seattle. One second. Look at events. Like, hold on. So Dana White announced Israel Adesanya is returning, taking on Joe Pyfer, and that the co-main is Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber. Okay. He kept us waiting for hours on what this new live announcement was going to be. And then guess what? Guess what? When the hours pass and he goes live, did this guy show any passion behind the announcement? Did this guy sound like he cared? He's like, yeah, former champion Israel Adesanya is back, taking on Joe Pyfer. Alexa Grasso is taking on Macy Barber. Then he was done. This is not like the old Dana. Do you guys remember when Dana was in the war room? I think that's what it's called, right? Where he'd be standing, not sitting, and he'd have a full video montage ready of like visuals, highlights of the fighters he's talking about. He'd go into depth. He'd be so hyped up describing each fighter and the win streak they're on and the status of their career. You know what I mean? Whereas like now he's just sitting in a room. He sounds bored. He's like, oh, let's just get this over with. Like you could just kind of see Dana White sounds kind of over it now, honestly. Wouldn't be surprised if Dana tries to take away boxer sponsorships, shorts, and trying to give them Venom boxing shorts and LMAO. I hope he doesn't do that, man. Be really annoying. But I didn't do a video on UFC Seattle. I haven't addressed it yet, but I am pretty excited and nervous as well because Israel Adesanya, one of my favorite fighters ever in men's MMA, and then Grasso, my favorite fighter in women's MMA. They're both on the same card. They're both on a losing streak, and they both need to win. Because I'm telling you, if both lose on the same night, my year will be ruined. My life will be ruined. I'm just kidding. My life won't be ruined, but that's gonna take a big hit on me as an MMA fan. So please, Izzy, you got to snap that L streak, bro. Okay. Usman, your Nigerian brother did it. You can too. And I think Grasso should be able to beat Macy again, but you never know. Like Barber has improved from the first fight, and it's been 5 years. And Grasso, I feel like her confidence is kind of taking a hit from the losing streak, and Barber is dangerous. So I'm not as confident in Grasso this time as I was 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, Barber was very inexperienced, not as confident. Grasso was already on a bit of a win streak, never lost before at flyweight. So, yeah, like it just sort of like it felt like the stars aligned perfectly for Grasso to win back then. Whereas now it just kind of feels like the complete opposite. And then Izzy, man, every time I picked Israel Adesanya since he knocked out Pereira, I've gotten burned. Okay. I thought he would beat Sean Strickland easily, which he should have. There's no way he should have fucking lost to Sean, but he somehow finds a way to get dominated by him. Okay. But I didn't give up hope on Izzy. I'm like, you know what? It was an off night. He's better than Sean. He wins a rematch. I still believe he would, but that's not happening, right? But I'm like, okay, he'll beat Dricus du Plessis for the belt. I wasn't confident, but I believed in Izzy, right? That's my fighter. And he was doing good, but of course he gets finished in the 4th round. But I'm like, okay, he should beat Nasruddin Imavov, right? No, he's winning, but gets knocked out in the 2nd round. I'm just kind of thinking like, damn, if you can't take a punch from Strickland, because Strickland dropped him early, and then pillow-fisted Imavov knocked him out. I'm thinking like, how is your chin going to react if one of the biggest punches at middleweight lands clean? So in this fight, Israel Adesanya cannot afford to get clipped by Pyfer or it's done. This is not like prime Adesanya, who could like tank shots from Yoel Romero, Jan Blachowicz, and Alex Pereira. I feel like the Alex saga was the last time Adesanya's durability truly shined in a fight. Ever since, he's just not been as tough or as gritty as he used to be, you know? Yeah, you're right. He's not as slick as the other guys. Like Adesanya is more technical than Pyfer. He's slicker on the feet. He's faster, higher fight IQ, more 5-round experience, better cardio. And Pyfer does kind of lose danger as the fight goes on. Whereas Dricus, he does get tired, but he doesn't get less dangerous. He's relentless. He doesn't stop coming until either you finish him or you're able to neutralize until the final bell light comes out. Otherwise, he's going to find a way to win every single time. So, whereas Pyfer, he doesn't got the level of grit that he doesn't have the level of grit or heart that Duplessis does. Like, I feel like Adesanya could actually bring the quit out of Pyfer, and I really hope he does, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. That is true. And Pyfer did get outstruck by Jack Hermanson. He had a good first 2 rounds, but when he couldn't find the money shot, he faded, and then Jack just outstruck him in like rounds 3, 4, and 5. And I'm thinking, if the Joker can do that, the Style Bender can do that even better. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think it's actually very possible for Israel Adesanya to win by a late finish. And another interesting thing too I noticed, because I'm like a very superstitious guy, right? People think I'm crazy, but I do pay attention to like patterns and stuff. I got high pattern recognition. I am a heavy believer in fate. Now, I'm not trying to say that just because Usman won his last fight, that guarantees that now Izzy's going to win his next fight, right? But if you notice, and I'm actually going to pull up both their records right now, because I have the receipts to prove what I'm talking about. Give me 1 second. Let me go on their Sherdogs right now. I'll go Israel Adesanya Sherdog. Let's go on his Sherdog. Then I'm going to go on Kamaru Usman's Sherdog. And I want to show you something. Okay, don't leave. And you got to pay attention to the timeline I'm going to show you. Okay, look at this. So do you guys notice something here? So Israel Adesanya became champion interim in 2019, right? Then became undisputed end of the year and beat one of his biggest rivals outside of Pereira to become the champ. And Israel Adesanya has had 5 title defenses. And then Israel Adesanya lost the belt in a fight he was winning 3-1 going into round 5. And now let's look at Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman became champ in 2019, 1 month apart from Israel Adesanya. Then his next fight is against a career-defining rival like Izzy, like Izzy's next fight was after he beat Kelvin, right? And then that's his first defense. Defense number 2, Masvidal, and then 2 more defenses, Gilbert, Jorge again, and then Colby. 5 defenses. And then his next fight was a loss in 2022, okay? Because both Izzy and Usman were champs in the exact same time, lost in the exact same year, 2019 to 2022. He's winning 3-1, gets finished end of the 5th round. The only difference is Izzy won his rematch and Usman didn't, because I do believe that Adesanya was destined to finally get that one back over Pereira, where as Usman already beat Leon once, so I don't think the MMA gods needed him to get that Leon fight back, even though it was fucking dumb and he should have won because he's better than Leon. He beats him now. Leon sucks, but that's besides the point. The MMA gods wanted the passing of the torch in the welterweight division, even though now Leon is being exposed for being the overrated bum that he is, right? But Usman was on a 3-fight losing streak, took a significant amount of time off, then came back against one of the most dangerous punchers in the welterweight division. I mean, Buckley's not the most dangerous puncher. That's either Practice or Morales, but still, he's counted out. Everyone thinks he's going to get retired and knocked out, and he comes back and gives a vintage Kamaru Usman performance and wins. So I'm hoping that the symmetry we've been seeing between Usman and Izzy, I hope that pattern continues going into Seattle so that we could see. Hold on. Am I sharing both screens? 1 second. So that we can see both of the. So we can see Israel Adesanya bounce back too. Oh, shoot. I don't think I shared Usman's tab. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys. I forgot how this works. But like I said, they've both, Izzy and Usman, have both been winning and losing on the same timeline. So I hope that they both bounce back on the same timeline. That was a bit of a mess, but you guys get the point, right? So I'm not saying this guarantees that Israel Adesanya is going to beat Joe Pyfer. It doesn't. Joe could still win, but I'm hoping that just like Izzy's Nigerian brother, Izzy, the Nigerian himself, can also find his way back and show he's not done. Because the thing is about Israel Adesanya, in his last 3 out of 4 losses he's had, he's looked good and he's been winning until he wasn't. Against Pereira, he's winning, then gets finished late. Strickland was the only loss he had where he looked bad. And I truly believe Izzy wasn't himself. And if he was, he would have beat Strickland's ass. I don't care what anyone says. Fight me. And then against Dricus, he was at his best and he was winning. But then Duplessis toughed his way through and finished him late. Against Nasruddin Imavov, he was cooking him and then out of nowhere got knocked the fuck out, right? So Izzy, he just needs to show up and lock in. That's all. He needs to be doing what he was doing against Dricus, against Nasruddin, against Pereira, the first MMA fight, and not get caught. And I know it's easier said than done, but Izzy is showing that the skills are still there. And on paper, he's better than the last 3 guys that he fought, even though the results show otherwise. I feel like given what Izzy's done and the performances that he's shown, Strickland, that wasn't the real Izzy. And Dricus and Imavov, the best Izzy did show up. It just wasn't his night, but he showed potential that he could still hang with these guys. He just needs to not get caught. So we'll see. I'm nervous. I'm a bit doubtful. But man, if the MMA gods could bless me a favor right now and just bless me Israel and Grasso winning on the same night, that would be great. And in my predictions for 2026 video, I did predict that at least 5 former champions on a losing streak, well, not 5 of them in total, but few of the 5 I listed will bounce back. And in that list was Izzy, Grasso, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill, and Bilal Muhammad. I believe 1 to 2 of these or 3 of these former champs will bounce back. Seattle, March 28th could be the night I get proven right. So we'll see. Let me check back with these comments. Hold on a second. I got Izzy KO. I can see him knocking out Pyfer like he did Robert back in the day. Oh, I would love that. Even Kelvin was able to take Pyfer's big shots, but he got dropped though. Kelvin's just super tough. He's a tough guy to put away. He's got great recovery, but Pyfer was still able to touch that granite chin and put him down. The UFC 324 press conference is today. Hopefully Gaethje and Paddy talk a little trash and it's not all respectful. We'll see, but Paddy respects Gaethje too much. I doubt they'll talk crap to each other. When is the press conference, by the way? So I want to check that out. Let me see. UFC live, upcoming. Okay, pre-fight. Where's the press conference, though? Oh, it's 8 p.m. Okay, it's in a couple of hours then. All right. So I'll tune in around 8 and see what's up. Paddy called Justin's power overrated. Damn. Imagine he says all that just to get knocked out by Gaethje. That would be embarrassing. Because I don't think Gaethje's power is overrated at all. Early prediction, I got Bronx beating Holloway. Interesting. Interesting. And why do you think Do Bronx wins? I would like to know. Because I mean, I do think Charles does have a good chance. You know, I'm not counting out Oliveira at all, but it's hard to go against. It's hard to bet against Holloway. I feel like he's like the best lightweight in the world outside of Ilya and maybe Armin. I feel like Armin Max is 50-50. He loses to Ilya again and then beats everyone else. Oh, what the hell? Tisha Torres is out of the UFC? Dang. Dang, they just cut Tisha Torres. That's crazy. I see too many people writing off Do Bronx going into the Holloway fight. Yeah, me too, but I mean, I kind of get it's not coming out of nowhere. Like, we've seen the run Max Holloway has had in the lightweight division. He's been more consistent recently than Oliveira has. Oliveira has been win one, lose the next, win one, lose the next. He'll fight one step down in competition, Benny, and then fight Armin, a tougher fight, and lose. Then he'll step it down with Chandler, a washed Chandler, might I add, win, then a step up in Ilya, get smoked. Then a step down in Gamrot, and now a step up in Holloway. I think people are just seeing a pattern. And I know Holloway, I mean, he beat him the first time, but you could argue, okay, it only happened because of a freak injury. But Holloway was going to win that fight anyway, like at the time. And I just think people know stylistically, Holloway does carry the advantage. Like he's a superior striker, faster, better in the pocket. In the lightweight division, I feel he probably has more power. And even if not, he has enough power to hurt Oliveira to knock him out. He's got a durability advantage. He's got good takedown defense to thwart off any grappling attempts Oliveira might have in this fight. So we'll see. And Oliveira gets hit a lot in his fights too. You know, Gamrot was touching him up. Imagine if it's Holloway in front of you. So I do see why Oliveira is an underdog. Now he has a chance. Like if he can get the fight to the ground and keep it there long enough to find a sub, yeah, he could win, you know? And he does have some decent power on the feet. He's got a solid clinch game, good Muay Thai, good knees and elbows and close. Okay. He's got good leg kicks. His pressure is solid. He does have ways to beat Max, but I just feel like he has a slim chance to win. He might, but it's nothing that Max can't take or can at least fend off. Whereas Oliveira's lack of defense could get him in trouble. I'm gonna be right back though. I gotta take a leak. All right, I'm back. I can see him knocking out Holloway. Nah. I mean, maybe like he has been getting dropped in his last few fights, which I guess isn't a great look, but I doubt Oliveira puts him down. Like when was the last time Oliveira dropped someone? I mean, yeah, he knocked out Beneil Dariush, but Beneil, anyone can knock out Beneil Dariush. That guy doesn't have a chin. Dariush can't handle early pressure and can't take a powerful shot to save his life. So Holloway is a different case. Only reason why Ilya knocked him out is because Ilya has the power and obviously the accuracy that he does. Oliveira doesn't have the same striking acumen. Like if Oliveira wins, I think it's got to be by sub. I get Holloway is the better striker of the two, but Charles is no joke standing either. I can see him clipping Max in exchange, then submitting him. I mean, it's possible, I guess. Like, I do acknowledge Oliveira can strike, but I just think that advantage mainly goes to Max. Like, this is the same guy that schooled Gaethje on the feet for 5 rounds. He didn't really school Dustin, but he beat him pretty thoroughly. So, I mean, hey, if he beats him at his own game, like, then I'll be impressed. Now I'll have nothing to say. I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. But I'm not gonna believe it till I see it. I'm not saying that he can't win, but winning the way you think he'll win, that's a huge if. But it is interesting though, because these next few title fights we have, um, these next few main events. So I think okay, we have Paddy who's the favorite. Isn't Volkanovski the favorite? And Holloway is the favorite. So I wonder if we're gonna get like one at least underdog upset in one of these main events. I mean, Gaethje could definitely do it. Hold on, I want to see the odds for Volkanovski versus Lopez real quick. It doesn't have the odds. Hold on. Wait, this website doesn't have the odds? That's weird. Let me look up the odds. So Lopez is an underdog. Yeah, Lopez, I feel, definitely has one of the biggest. Actually, no, doesn't have a bigger chance than Charles, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe your underdog pick with Gaethje or Oliveira could land. Me too. Like I remember I picked Gaethje to I picked Gaethje to win that. I thought Gaethje was going to be the one to knock him out. I didn't think it'd be Ilya. I picked Gaethje over Holloway by TKO. Then Max Holloway surprises me pleasantly against Gaethje. Then I predict Holloway to be Ilya, and then Ilya surprises me by knocking out Max Holloway. So, because we never seen Holloway get knocked out before ever. And I mean, I'm like, I knew Ilya could win, but I thought if he wins, it might be like a decision, maybe. I did not see that finish coming the way it did. And maybe I should have. Maybe I should have seen it coming because it's Ilya, and that's just how hard he hits, right? But it's going to be interesting to see what happens though, like between the winner of Holloway and Oliveira, like what's going to happen with them? Are they going to fight for the belt? And could we be in for a rematch between either Ilya and Oliveira or Ilya and Holloway? If we end up getting Ilya Oliveira again, I feel like it'll be the same outcome. Like I think Oliveira might prolong the inevitable. He might be more hesitant and more respectful, but nothing's going to change. He'll never win a striking match with Topuria. Topuria will find him eventually. It just might take longer. I don't think Oliveira is going to just take him down, control him, or find the sub. So he gets knocked out again. I'm going to say like round 2. Round 2, he gets knocked out. Maybe even late round 1. Maybe Ilya just walks him against the cage and just puts him down cleanly again. And then Max Holloway, I feel like Holloway actually has a very solid chance at winning the rematch against Ilya Topuria. A way better chance than Oliveira, because he's got better striking than Charles. Even though Ilya put him away despite having a good chin, Holloway still has the durability. I feel like at lightweight he's a lot better. He packs more of a punch in the lightweight division. He can still go tit for tat with Ilya in the striking like no one else can. He can last longer with Ilya than anyone else and actually do something with Ilya. Though I don't think he'll win, I think it'll be like another competitive back and forth fight. Like I think Ilya might win a decision this time potentially. Like Holloway might actually take him all 5 rounds this time and like maybe just lose a 48-47 decision. Because Holloway does typically struggle with shorter opponents. So he'd still have that problem with Ilya dealing with a short mini fridge of a man who hits like a truck, who has tree trunks for legs, who kicks really hard, punches really hard. So I think he'd still lose, but I think he'd give it a better go than Oliveira. I don't call him Max Holloway at lightweight. I call him Maximus. Honestly, that's valid. He deserves that nickname, Maximus. One thing I can respect about Dubronx, he isn't afraid of coming at his opponents. He's not scared of a brawl. Yeah, I respect that too, because I mean, when he fought Chandler the first time and Dustin, like when he went through that stretch where he went through fighting Chandler, Dustin, and Chandler, Dustin, and Gaethje back to back, I picked Chandler to knock him out in the first fight. I picked Dustin to knock him out. I picked Charles to submit Gaethje. But like in all 3 fights, this guy did not care how hard either of these men hit. He walked forward. He kept coming. He got knocked down, got bloodied up, but he kept fighting through it until he found a way to win. Like that really impressed me. And that won Oliveira my respect. Not just that he was winning fights, it was how he was winning and who he was winning against. So, and how he was doing it. Like brawling with Chandler and still winning, brawling with Dustin and still winning, brawling with Gaethje and still winning. Now, I don't think that's going to work on Max, but we'll see. Volk was doing good against Ilya before getting knocked out. Charles isn't shorter than Max. Yeah, they're like around the same height? Or I think he is a little shorter. Like Max is 5'11", Oliveira is 5'10", I believe. Oh, you're saying isn't he shorter than Max? Yeah, he is, but that doesn't like match my Max struggles with shorter opponents comment, because he's not that much shorter than him. Like I'm talking about guys who were like 5'6", 5'7". Oliveira and him are like identical height, or almost identical in height. So I don't think Oliveira being shorter is going to help him against Max. But yeah, you're right. Volk was doing good, and so was Max. Like a lot of people were doing good against Ilya until getting finished. Like Mitchell, and Mitchell was actually getting destroyed pretty good, but he was landing some good shots, got a few good takedowns, then boom, got cracked. Jai Herbert dropped Ilya, still got knocked out later, right? And I mean, I picked Volk and Holloway to beat Topuria. And I don't think my picks were really, I mean, they were wrong, but I don't think they were crazy picks. Like, based off what we saw in that fight with Volk and Ilya, it made sense to go with Volk. I just didn't think Volk was going to get caught like that. Same with Holloway. Yeah, I mean, most people do have a longer reach than Max because Max is like so weirdly proportionate. It's like Max is like, he's tall, 5'11, but he's cursed with like a 69-inch reach. Like Holloway's reach doesn't match his height, unfortunately, as much as I wish it could. How long is Charles' reach? Isn't it like 72 or something like that? 72, 74 inches. So he definitely has quite a bit of length on Holloway. I think Gaethje could potentially beat Topuria now. No, it's definitely not 76. Nah. Like, I know he's got a shorter reach than El Kukui, but yeah, I'm not sure what his reach is, but it's not 76. Okay. I think Gaethje could potentially beat Topuria now. Is likely hell no, but Gaethje has those deadly leg kicks and the KO power. I mean, yeah, Gaethje does have that it factor that could be a threat to Topuria for sure. But I just think Ilya Topuria has the fight IQ advantage. He's got the speed advantage, the boxing advantage. Um, and he's one of the very few guys that I think could fight Gaethje in the pocket and tear him up in the pocket, right? Because most guys want to avoid close exchanges. Topuria will put pressure on Gaethje, walk him down, and not just carelessly brawl. He'll slip his way inside without getting countered, and he's a lot more tighter in the pocket than Gaethje, so he's more likely to land first. And when he lands, and how he's able to land with the accuracy that he does, Gaethje is 100% going to go down and go to sleep. Yeah, his reach is 74 inches. I just Googled it. Oliveira's reach. But the only one that I potentially see beating Ilya is Arman Tsarukyan. In Okay, we all seen Gaethje doesn't do well being pressured. Yup, exactly. And Ilya's gonna put that pressure on Justin. And Justin's not gonna like that pressure. And Ilya knows how to rip to the body, and Gaethje do not like them body shots either. Yeah, he hated that pressure. He panicked. Like when you put, I mean, it's not as simple as just put pressure on Gaethje because I said in my prediction video, if you don't do it right, if you're careless or reckless with your pressure, he's gonna put you down and hurt you. He'll fuck you up. But if you're smart with your pressure, like Khabib was, like Oliveira was, Gaethje will panic. He won't know what to do. He'll get flustered. He'll make mistakes. He'll start leaving openings, and either he opens himself up to being taken down or caught on the feet. Taken down with Khabib, caught on the feet with Oliveira. and caught on the feet, which would happen against Topuria. And like every time this guy fights for like an undisputed belt, he always loses so easily. Or just in general, there's certain fights where it's like I expect Gaethje to do better than he actually does, and he gets smoked. Like I did not see him getting dominated by Holloway. I knew Khabib would beat him. I thought he'd do better. I thought he was supposed to be this big threat with his wrestling background. Got handled. I thought he was the biggest threat ever to Oliveira. Couldn't even last more than a round. And even though he dropped him, it still felt like he technically got smoked in that fight. But I hope it's not true that Gaethje versus Pimblett's not in jeopardy. Or I hope it's not true that it's in jeopardy, because I'm now hearing, yeah, Arman's not cutting weight, so he won't be the backup. And if we lose this fight, this card goes to hell. So, and I have plans to go to the bar this weekend to watch it, so I do not want this fight to get canceled. We just lost Nunes versus Harrison. We're not trying to see another big fight get canceled. But I want to talk a little bit more about Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. I might make like an individual video on this if I don't have time to fully discuss this in the live the way I want to. But that is also the title of this video, why I am rooting for Natalia Silva as hard as I am. And I mean, I did explain why I'm rooting for her to win. Now, in terms of Namajunas' chances, like, how good are her chances? Okay. How good are her chances to beat Silva? I don't think they're horrible, because they're both good strikers. They both move well. Natalia is fighting the first really good striker she'll have ever faced in her entire career. I mean, she fought Grasso, but Grasso doesn't cut off the cage as well. She doesn't move around the outside as well as Rose. Now, she fights on the inside better than Namajunas, but Namajunas does fight on the outside. She is hard to hit clean and doesn't just rely on like her guard like Grasso. So that is where Rose could actually give Silva problems in the fight. But will that be enough? I don't think it will. I don't think it will be enough. I mean, she has the threat of the grappling, but like Natalia Silva has 92% takedown defense, and Grasso try to mix in takedowns. Now, of course, Rose Namajunas has better takedowns and takedown entries than an Alexa Grasso. So she might have a better chance to get Silva down, but I think Silva will just get back up. And even though Natalia and Rose are like very similar in terms of like the way they strike, the way they move, Natalia does things better. She kicks better, she moves better, more volume. Rose, like I said in my prediction video, is dangerous in like short bursts. Like Rose will win moments, like a big knockdown, a big takedown, a takedown that seals a close fight, or a knockdown and a knockout that ends the fight, right? But Natalia, she doesn't just win moments. She wins minutes. And that's why I do favor her to win this fight by a decision. Although I would like for her to finish Rose. Natalia doesn't typically finish people, and Rose is pretty difficult to finish. She hasn't been finished since 2019. And the last time she got finished by Jessica Andrade, that was like an absolute fluke. That never should have happened. She was whooping Jessica's butt before that slam. That was an anomaly. So if that slam doesn't happen, Namajunas, her champ run is a singular run, not a two-time run. So yeah, I don't think Silva gets the finish, because I feel like a lot of her finishes kind of come from accumulative damage. And I mean, she might do damage, but I don't see her putting on enough damage to where, okay, the ref needs to stop the fight. So I see it being like something like a 29-28 decision, where Rose kind of does well and is semi-competitive, but ultimately gets outworked. She has the lower output. She's not able to catch Silva off guard with a perfect shot, and she's not able to maintain control with her grappling. And I at least hope I'm right, because Silva winning this fight, it's important. It's important for me. It's important for the flyweight division, because really, what is Rose Namajunas going to do to Valentina? Like, she's talked about this fight, saying that she has the answers or whatever. No, you don't. You don't have the answers. Like, I actually want to find like what Rose said. It's on MMAfighting.com. I want to look that up real quick. I think it's on this website. I mean, if I find it, I find it. If I don't, I don't. But hold on. Okay, there's one where she talks about the Silva fight. But okay, no, that's not it. It's not what I'm looking for. No, there's one where she said she was surprised that how Weili lost, but said, oh, her corner had a bad game plan. Maybe it's on MMA Junkie, because I want to find the exact quote that Rose said about the fight. I want to find the exact quote she said. Oh, okay, yeah. So Rose said she's unique. I want to actually play the clip real quick.
That you were told if you win this fight, you will get a title shot?
Yeah. Even though I try and, wasn't going to worry about that. And I'm still not too worried about, definitely like looking past this or anything, because, we got to stay one step ahead, one step at a time. But it's definitely more motivating. It's more, and I don't need any more motivation. I just want to win. And I'm also very excited to face somebody like Natalia, who's very exciting. And she has, I don't know, she's definitely got some very good talent. So it's very, very exciting.
Seems like in these more recent fights, Valentina's going a lot more grappling heavy, and people are struggling to get out from under her. Is that something you kind of see when watching her, being like, I have a little more to offer there, probably?
I mean, I've trained with her extensively, and I know as soon as she grabs you, it's strong. She's very, very strong, and so. But yeah, I mean, I'm unique in so many different ways. Like I said, I move unlike really any female, I think, that's in the UFC, but like just my movement alone, I feel like is something that is, I don't know, it's unique.
Rose, did I see you say that you were told if you win this fight, you will get a title?
See, the thing is about that, she's saying her style is unique. She didn't even sound confident there, but okay. I really don't see what she's going to do to Valentina. She's got footwork. She's got good distance management. She cuts angles very well. Yes, Val's a little more stationary, but I think Rose is too physically weak for Valentina. Okay. She may be fighting in the flyweight division, but at the end of the day, she's still a strawweight. Valentina has never lost to a straw. Well, she lost to Grasso, but she mainly has beaten strawweights. She only lost once to a strawweight. Okay. And then beat other strawweights like Jessica Andrade, avenged the Grasso loss, dominated Weili. I feel like Rose's outside foot fighting would not work on Val. She'd fight on the outside, and then what happens when she takes a step forward? What happens when she tries to commit to her offense? Valentina will counter her. She'll catch her coming in with a check hook. She'll land her spinning back kicks, those body kicks. She'll pick her apart. She'll systematically break Rose down with shots from the outside, because she can play that outside foot battle distance game with Rose and win the tit for tat distance game with Rose. And then when Rose has to get on the inside at some point, she's going to get damaged up by counters and close. And if Valentina wants to take her down, which she most likely will, Rose will do nothing to stop it. And Rose won't be able to get back to her feet. And I know Rose is like better off her back than Grasso and Weili, but even still, Namajunas can be out wrestled. She can be held down, and you can control her while being able to avoid her submission game. And Valentina is also very high level on the ground. So I don't really see Rose finding a sub from off her back. She'll get picked apart on the feet. She'll get destroyed if she puts on pressure, and she'll get dominated on the ground. Like, that fight is anything but interesting. And I'm not trying to say that Natalia Silva is guaranteed to beat Val, because she's not. I myself am having doubts. I might even pick Valentina to beat Natalia. But Natalia, you have to admit, her chances to beat Val are way better because she can actually more effectively fight Val from the outside. She has more volume in her strikes than Valentina Shevchenko. I think she can effectively get in and then get out without getting countered. I think Natalia has a more effective blitz than Rose, and I think she's a lot harder to counter than Rose. So I think Val is going to have a harder time finding her counters. She'll struggle at a range with Natalia. Natalia can go kick for kick with her like no other. And Natalia has very strong takedown defense and is very hard to keep on the ground. Now, Val could still win. Val could actually beat Natalia on the feet. I'm not saying she can't. It just won't be easy. And Val could out-grapple her. I'm not saying she can't. It just won't be as easy as out-grappling Weili and Grasso, and it won't be as easy as countering Manon or Weili Zhang. Like, I do think Natalia will give Valentina her toughest fight since the second Alexa Grasso fight. And that's why I want to see it. Natalia could be the one to end Val's second reign, or at least give her one of the toughest fights she's had, you know? And I mean, Manon was actually her last tough fight. I don't know why I said since the second Grasso fight, because Manon Furo made it close with Val. And I do think that Natalia could as well. So I want to see a fight where I know Valentina will be challenged, and I know that fans will actually be hyped to see it. Whereas Rose, she's going to be a big underdog. It'll be a long shot. And I mean, hey, if she actually manages to beat Val, which she won't, and I think deep down she knows she won't, that'll be huge, but it's not happening. Armin and Holloway are Topuria fights at. Are you saying are you saying that they're his toughest fights at 155? I mean, if so, I do agree with that. Paddy can potentially be a hard fight for Topuria as well. Harder fight than Gaethje, I know that. Same way Natalia is a harder fight for Val and Rose is. It's funny, like Rose and Gaethje have potential to do the funniest and most annoying thing ever. I mean, I'll be less annoyed at Gaethje winning, but they have potential. It's actually crazy. They're both teammates, and they could both ruin some of the biggest fights at women's flyweight in the lightweight division. Like, Rose could ruin Valentina Natalia, which is scary. Gaethje could definitely ruin Pimlet versus Topuria, which is pretty scary. So I'm kind of hoping that Whitman takes an L and doesn't have one of his perfect nights. But we'll see. But yeah, Paddy could definitely make it interesting because he's big, he's long, he can strike. He's got the grappling jiu-jitsu threat on Ilya. He's durable, but durability doesn't really matter when you're facing Topuria. Durability don't matter. He'll knock out anybody. I mean, Max having a chin didn't keep him safe from getting knocked out by Ilya. But like, if anyone is like definitively beating him in the lightweight division, Ilya, that is, I do think it would be Armin Sarukian because he's stronger. They're the same height, but stature-wise, Armin's bigger. And Armin's like the only guy in this division who can out-wrestle Ilya and dominate him on the ground. He has potential to maul Ilya. And the last person in the lightweight division who used to be at lightweight who could have done the same thing was Islam Makhachev. And now I think with Islam gone and at welterweight, Armin has the next best shot at beating Topuria. But ultimately, I mean, yeah, Ilya most likely beats them all. I mean, I know I said Armin will be champ by the end of the year, but that was only dependent on the Ilya fight not happening. But based off how Ilya's talking, when he won one piece of his court case against Georgina, not the full thing yet, but literally he's ready to fight again by April or June. So I feel like now that Ilya's back, he's going to win his next fight, and I think he's going to stay at lightweight. And if he does, he's going to beat Armin. I think Armin will give him a hard fight, but he's eventually going to get caught inevitably. Like, he doesn't have the elusiveness or the defense to avoid that power. He will be able to hold down Ilya for a certain period of time, but not before Ilya gets back up, not before Ilya resets, puts the pressure on him. Armin slows down just a little bit because he does kind of fade in fights and then eventually gets caught. I think Ilya has a cardio advantage, and Armin does slow down in fights against Gamrot. He faded. I thought he should have won that fight because he dropped Gamrot in like the 4th round, I think, and somehow they gave the 4th to Gamrot. But whatever. He still got tired, and it still costed him. Against Oliveira, you start to kind of fade in round 3 and almost lost, almost got finished. And it ended up being a split decision. And if it was 5 rounds, Oliveira might have won that fight. So this fight with Ilya is going to be a 5-round fight. And if he doesn't finish Ilya early, he might be in for a rough night. Okay. All right, what else is there to talk about on this live? But yeah, hope Natalia wins because Rose, even though yes, I like her, she just I said in my community post she needs to be put down. I don't mean put down as killed. I just mean as a necessary sacrifice for the good of the division. Rose has to lose this fight, and Gaethje Pimblet better not be canceled because Armin's not cutting weight, and I'm not trying to see O'Malley Song headline the first ever Paramount card of the year. That'll be so freaking annoying. But I'm going to now bounce from this live. I'm getting pretty hungry, so I'm going to go eat something. And I might go live on fight day. I'm not sure. I'll see what's going on. But thank y'all for tuning in, and peace out.